Hello Algebra 1, welcome to your at-home tutorial video on how to multiply polynomials using algebra tiles digitally. So you should have opened up your algebra tiles and you should be ready to go and following along with your Ed puzzle. Remember, there will also be questions as we go. So what I've done is I have selected number 20. And I'm on difficulty 0 to start. You can always click new examples to try more on your own, and you can always show solution at the end. So we need to expand and simplify this polynomial. So we have 3x plus 2 times x plus 1. So if we're going to first model our first polynomial, we're going to do the first one using the vertical tiles. So our first polynomial, we're going to use vertical tiles. The second one we'll use horizontal. So 3x plus 2. So I need 3 x's, and I'm going to stack them on top of each other. 3x plus 2. So I also need to add my two ones. 1 and 1. Now, horizontally, I'm going to do x plus 1. So I have x plus 1. Once I have it all set up, I'm going to use my tiles to fill in these gaps. So if I look, I have an x times an x. So I'm going to put in an x squared, and you can see how it perfectly matches up. Again, I have x times x. I'm going to fill it in with a big block. X times x. I have another big block that I'm going to fill in. You can see all of my borders are lining up, and it's nice and neat. Okay, now we're going to get a little trickier. I have an x here being multiplied by a 1. So x times 1, I can't put a 1 in here because it doesn't fill in my blank. So if I take an x, you can see that this perfectly fills in that gap. And I'm going to do it again. X times 1, x. Okay, now I'm going to do the same thing for my row of 1s. 1 times x gives me x. 1 times x gives me another x. 1 times x is another x. And then all I have left is 1 times 1 is 1. 1 times 1 is 1. So my answer is going to be everything here that I'm highlighting, everything on the inside. So if I look and drag these off to the side, I have 3x squared plus 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 x's, and then 2 1s. So my answer is going to be 3x squared plus 5 x's plus 2. And I can show my solution. 3x squared plus 5 x's plus 2 is my final answer. All right, so we're going to tidy this up. I'm going to generate a new example, 2x plus 1 times x plus 1. Go ahead and take some time to answer this question using your digital tiles. Awesome, you've answered the question. Let's go ahead and raise up our difficulty and try another. So let's go up to difficulty 5 and let's give a new example. So I have 3x minus 4 times x plus 9. So once again, I'm going to first pick my first polynomial, and I'm either going to go vertical or I'm going to go horizontal. So this time, let's go horizontal. 3x minus 4. So I have 3 x's, 1, 2, 3. And this time I have minus 4, so I'm going to grab these minus 1s. 3 and 4. So here's my first polynomial, 3x minus 4. I have 3 x's minus 4. Going vertical, I'm going to do x plus 9. So I have 1x, and I'm going to have 9 of these ones. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Am I all out? Oh, well, we're going to have one more. We can take this guy and flip it. 9. Okay, so now we're going to fill in our empty spot. So I have an x and an x, giving us an x squared. X and x, I'm filling in my spots. X squared, x times x, another x squared. Now if I keep going, now this is where we have to be careful. -1 times x isn't going to give me x, it's going to give me negative x. -1 times x, negative x. Negative x, once again, -1 times x, negative x. Okay, now we have all these little ones to figure out. So 1 times all of these x's are going to give us tons and tons of x's that we're going to use to fill in. That is if we don't run out. And it looks like we have run out. Let's rotate this. X. X. X, and we'd continue and continue and continue. Okay, so you would fill this all in with x's, and we would see that we would have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 18, 27 x's. 27 x's. We would have 3x squared. And in our last column, we'd be multiplying -1 times -1 a bunch of times. And our final answer would be 3x squared plus 23x minus 36. Let's go ahead and generate a new example after I tidy up. Okay, so go ahead, take a second, and answer this question: 2x minus 1 and x plus 5. All right, so you've answered that one. We're going to do one more. Let's bring up the difficulty just a little more. We don't want our numbers to be too high. These are some big numbers. All right, 2x plus 1 and x minus 1. Okay, so my first one is 2x's plus 1. X and an x plus 1. And going vertical, I have x minus 1. So x minus 1. Again, we're going to fill in all of our spots. X times x gives us x squared. X times x gives us x squared. Here, 1 times x is 1x. X times -1 gives us negative x. And x times -1 gives us another negative x. Last but not least, we have 1 times -1, which is -1. Okay, so if I look, my answer is x squared. I have 2 minus x's and a positive x. When this happens, if I were to rotate these cancel each other out. And I am left with 2x squared minus x minus 1. I can show solution. 2x squared minus x minus 1. Okay, so let's tidy this up. I'm going to give you one more to try. If I can find one that isn't too big of numbers. They all are just so big. Okay, go ahead and try this one. 2x plus 2, x plus 1. Awesome, very good job, Algebra 1. This is how we multiply using algebra tiles. I hope this was helpful, and be prepared to do some more of this in class tomorrow. Have a good one.